vice presidential race heats up for Harris. As the deadline to choose a running mate approaches, the competition for Vice President Harris's spot has intensified, with Democrats passionately supporting their favored candidates. Progressive critics are targeting Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who is Jewish, due to his stances on Israel and his response to pro-Palestinian protests. Senator John Fetterman, DPA, has also raised concerns about Shapiro with Harris's team, according to Politico. Meanwhile, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is gaining traction among progressives as a preferred choice, with several House Democrats backing him. Senator Mark Kelly, DRIZ, another prominent contender, has faced scrutiny from some union leaders, though the criticism has been less severe compared to Shapiro. Strategists observe that the vice presidential selection is taking on a primary-like intensity. This might be the closest thing to a primary for Democrats this cycle, making the stakes unusually high, noted a Democratic strategist. The fast-paced nature of this selection reflects the party's urgency to influence the ticket and impact the White House for years to come. President Biden's swift endorsement of Harris surprised many who anticipated a chaotic battle following his exit. Instead, the party consolidated around Harris, avoiding a prolonged contest. However, the current vice presidential race is proving to be more contentious. The rapid decision-making process is energizing Democrats, but also creating a high-pressure environment. The usual slow buildup of opposition research is being rushed, said a strategist. With the deadline looming, internal party divisions are becoming more pronounced, though their long-term impact remains uncertain. The Harris campaign's main objectives are to avoid missteps, make a prudent selection, and potentially sway key states. Harris supporters highlight that the shortened timeline and internal party discord are heightening the stakes. No one wants to make a mistake with such a tight time frame and significant consequences, said an ally. Shapiro, in particular, faces criticism from progressives who disapprove of his handling of pro-Palestinian protests and other actions. The term Genocide Josh has sparked heated debate among activists regarding whether it is anti-Semitic. Some Democrats argue this criticism is driven by an overly online left, and that progressives will eventually support Shapiro if chosen. Yet, a progressive strategist warned that Shapiro's selection could impact Arab American and Muslim voter turnout, given past comments and the recent resurfacing of an old op-ed in which Shapiro predicted an unending conflict in the Middle East and described Palestinians as battle-minded. The Institute for Peace and the Institute for Middle East Understanding condemned Shapiro's op-ed as virulently racist. Shapiro's spokesperson has responded by stating that his views have evolved since then. Supporters of Shapiro, including those from the Arab community, argue that his current stance on Israel aligns with other candidates and that much of the criticism may stem from anti-Semitism. Shapiro advocates for a two-state solution and has criticized Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's approach to the conflict. Rep's Jake Auchincloss, DMAS, defended Shapiro against accusations of bias, suggesting the criticism may be influenced by anti-Semitism. A Democratic strategist believes that progressive backlash will not heavily sway Harris's decision, pointing out that her record shows a willingness to defy progressive demands. Edwards added that the short news cycle might soon shift focus, as recent events have shown how quickly news stories can fade from the public's attention. What we're discussing now may be relatively minor compared to recent events, he said.